Yesterday, when I was in the Senate, some Republicans told me that perhaps the European regulatory model might potentially be something that the United States might adopt over the course of the next several years with regards to big tech. Your thoughts on that?
Well, again, this is why I think it's good that Mark Zuckerberg is here. Zuckerberg is here because he has stated those things they agreed to based on the European investigation are going to be also implemented. All the privacy issues implemented as well worldwide, including the United States.
But is Facebook really the best opportunity to regulate itself? Your colleague in the Republican Party, Senator Kennedy, a Republican from Louisiana, Congressman, saying that, you know, he's not against big, but he's against dumb. I mean, are you satisfied with how Facebook is responding to all of this?
Actually, I am satisfied, and under the oversight of the Federal Trade Commission, and they are operating under a 2011 20-year consent decree from the Federal Trade Commission, and if they violate that consent decree, there are huge fines coming their way. I think we've got a good balance, and I'm convinced after Mark Zuckerberg willingly came to testify, not a subpoena, and hearing the tone of what he's talked about, I am actually one that will give them the benefit of the doubt, but understanding they are operating under a very tight consent decree from the Federal Trade Commission, which has a 20-year life cycle.
Do you think that the changes are going to be implemented enough ahead of the midterm elections to prevent this from happening again?
Again, that's why I'm glad he was here today, because he has given us 100% assurance that these changes will be in place and there will not be an instance of Russians or others meddling at all in the midterm election. They're taking a much more aggressive stance on people putting political ads on their site to make sure they know who they are and to vet them so it can't be somebody with subterfuge or otherwise trying to hide their identities. He's given us 100% assurance we're not going to see this in the 2018 midterms.
Congressman, I know you got to get back in there, so I'll just ask you one more question, and that is quite simply, what I'm hearing from you is regulation for big tech companies is not something that's a done deal here in Washington, D.C.
I would agree with that, because one thing we know, the more you regulate, the less growth and less investment you have. It's one reason we were happy to move the jurisdiction on what they called net neutrality back to the Federal Trade Commission where it belonged. So I believe in the light touch, and so I am one that after this testimony of Mark Zuckerberg, I'm very content to take him at his word. We're going to continue to have hearings on this, but at this point I'm not looking for additional regulation.
I take it you're not deleting your Facebook profile anytime soon.
No, we continue to use that as a way to communicate with our constituents, and we'll keep doing so.